At this year's Comic-Con, we got to see the broad strokes of the ongoing multiverse saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So far, Kang has been teed up as the villain of the saga, and it'll all come to a head in 2025's Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. Now, Secret Wars is a story that has been told twice in Marvel's comics, but in this video, we'll be looking at how Kang's presence can change things. One of the things that might change is the venue of the story. After all, one of the iconic elements of both versions of Secret Wars is Battle World, a patchwork planet made up of all kinds of crazy territories. In the 80s version of Secret Wars, or to use its full name, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, Battle World was a planet created by the Beyonder. He was introduced as an infinite dimensional cosmic entity that was super powerful, though not as powerful as the Celestials we saw in Eternals. He wanted to see the superheroes of Earth fight each other, and so he created Battle World as a planet-sized gladiatorial arena. Can you tell this storyline mainly existed to sell toys? Jonathan Hickman got to write his version of Secret Wars in 2015, and as you'd expect, he went super deep into the whole concept. After a series of incursions destroys the entire Marvel multiverse, a certain someone used the power of Molecule Man and the Beyonders, yes, plural, to create the new Battle World. Unlike the 80s one, this was a planet where each continent was a piece of one of Marvel Multiverse's realities. A lot of the anticipation around the MCU Secret Wars has to do with what their Battle World will look like. But if we're being realistic, Battle World can't really work in the MCU because we don't have a lot of exposure to alternate universes. Sure, there's What If, and then we have the upcoming X-Men 97 and Spider-Man Freshman Year. Those are all animated shows though, and they won't work in live action. Let's look at some other locations Secret Wars can use instead. Chronopolis comes to mind. With Kang as the villain, we're almost certain to see Chronopolis in some way or another. But could it play the role that Battle World does in the Secret Wars comics? That's the question. Chronopolis is a whole country located in the timeless dimension called Limbo. Come to think of it, the timeless dimension is pretty much where the Time Variance Authority, or TVA, was based, wasn't it? But as we go further in describing Chronopolis, it becomes clearer how this place can play the same role that Battle World plays in Secret Wars. The thing about Chronopolis is that it isn't just outside of time itself, but it also has access to all points in the timeline that Kang has conquered, or in other words, added to his Kang Dynasty. Each city in this country actually exists in its own separate time period. You might be beginning to see where we're going with this. In the MCU, each universe is in fact a timeline that is branched off what the TVA calls the sacred timeline. It's totally possible that as we build up to the pair of Phase 6 Avengers movies, we'll see Kang conquering different timelines. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty could have an Infinity War style shock ending, with Kang conquering the 616 universe. And then Secret Wars would see our heroes try to restore the multiverse, or something. That sounds compelling enough that Kevin Feige might be rewriting his plans as we speak. But there's another possibility too. Another possible location for Secret Wars could be the Quantum Realm. The Quantum Realm has featured a lot in the MCU already, being the way the Avengers were able to time travel in Endgame. Although we're familiar with the place, we don't actually know how exactly the Quantum Realm works, besides the fact that you need PIM particles or magic to get into it. And of course, time flows differently in the Quantum Realm than in the real world. Here's an interesting thing that eagle-eyed fans pointed out in Ant-Man and the Wasp. When Hank Pym travels into the Quantum Realm to save Janet Van Dyne, he passes by a floating city in some kind of a bubble. There are lots of theories to come up with from there. Is it the TVA, Chronopolis, some other Kang-associated place? But what exactly is the Quantum Realm? Pym says that this dimension has been uncharted by scientists currently, differently, and that the concepts of time and space become, like a cow's opinion, moo in the quantum realm. What we do know is that the quantum realm allows a person with the right technology to enter the timeline from one place and exit in another. Since alternate timelines are alternate universes, we can figure that the quantum realm is the thing that exists between the universes. For a guy who wants to conquer all the timelines, the quantum realm is a natural place to set up shop. Though we don't get how Chronopolis could exist in the quantum realm. It's perhaps the realm itself that'll be our battle world. Now, we'll compare which of the two is more likely. On one hand, the quantum realm doesn't need any introduction to fans of the MCU. We've seen it in 2 Ant-Man movies before, and we'll be seeing it in the 3rd Ant-Man movie. As a screenwriter, it's hard to ignore the ease of just using a concept that the fans already know and love. Meanwhile, Chronopolis is something entirely new. We've already been exposed to something like that with the TVA, but the idea of a whole country made up of cities in different timelines is a lot to take. Talk about some serious jet lag, right? It's something that would have to be built up over the course of multiple movies. And once Kang is done, and pardon the pun, dusted, there will be no more Chronopolis. That being said, Marvel Studios is introducing audiences to a lot of crazy things, and they've yet to see a backlash of confusion from any of it. We've had Infinity Stones, time travel, Celestials, magic, and the multiverse itself. If anything, people might just think that Chronopolis is a cool and weird idea. As for the quantum realm, it's already had time in the spotlight, being a key factor in the climax of the Infinity Saga. It would be repetitive for the MCU to keep going back to that saga after saga. Also, kinda makes out Ant-Man and his gang to be the linchpins of the MCU, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but should Ant-Man be the character to carry this universe on his back? Moving on, what else can we expect from Secret Wars? Well, the future of the multiverse will be up in the air by the time this saga comes to an end. How things play out in Secret Wars will depend on what kind of future Kevin Feige wants for the multiverse. It's pretty clear that a big reason why we're having a multiverse saga at all is because Disney and Marvel Studios have recently managed to reacquire many of the movie rights that they sold off in the 2000s. While some characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, and the Fantastic Four are getting more organic introductions, a multiversal approach might be needed to bring over, say, the X-Men. But once that mission is accomplished, will we need the multiverse? Marvel might keep it around because their animated projects take place in alternate universes, but there's no other reason for them to do it. There's a good chance that the multiverse might be a one and done thing. We think it's a safe bet that the MCU's Secret Wars will end in a similar way to Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars, with the Fantastic Four and the Future Foundation working to restore the multiverse. Or they might destroy it. There's only one way to find out. Finally, let's have a quick recap of the road to Avengers Secret Wars. If you're looking for our current place in the MCU timeline, we're halfway through the 6-episode release of She-Hulk: Attorney at Law. Following this, we're supposedly getting a Halloween special in time for, well, Halloween. We don't know much about this yet, except it's going to focus on Werewolf by Night and feature Elsa Bloodstone. The big finale of the MCU's Phase 4 will come in November. After loads and loads of production hurdles, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever will finally be upon us on November 11th. After that, December will bring us the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which is supposedly an epilogue to the phase, the way Spider-Man: Far From Home was. Phase 5 will kick off with the next season of What If, but the first movie will be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Plot details on this are thin, but we know that this will be our first introduction to the big bad of this saga, Kang. Phase 5 will continue through 2023 and wrap up in 2024 with Thunderbolts. Phase 6 is full of reserved dates for unannounced projects. What we do know is that Fantastic Four, originally closing out Phase Phase 4 will now be starting off the final phase of the multiverse saga in November 2024. Besides Spider-Man Freshman Year and Marvel Zombies, the only projects confirmed for Phase 6 are the 2 Avengers movies. The Kang Dynasty will be dropping in cinemas on the 2nd of May, and Secret Wars will quickly follow on November 7th. That's it for today's video. What are your big theories about Avengers Secret Wars? Will we have Battleworld after all? Will it be Chronopolis or the Quantum Realm? Or something new entirely? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.